believe they have now confirmed the discovery of the so-called God particle. Physicists have long theorized that there is a subatomic building block that exists that must give mass to everything in the universe, hence the nickname. But they had never seen the particle called the Higgs boson. Last summer, they announced the world's largest atom smasher may have found the first evidence that it exists, and now they are saying new evidence strongly indicates that they found it. Probably a Nobel.
It sounds like it's Bible, because less than 50 years ago, the overwhelming scientific opinion was the universe is eternal. There was never a beginning. The Bible is wrong from the very first sentence. And then we discovered, suddenly, Arno Penzias and Robert Wilson, the Bell Labs in New Jersey, the northeast of the U.S., discovered the echo of the Big Bang energy left over, which George Gamow, 60 years ago, predicted that if there had been a universe created hot and small, it would have exploded, and the energy would get more and more dilute. And Penzias and Wilson, these Arno Penzias and Robert Wilson, discover this energy that had been predicted overnight. The Bible got it right. There was a beginning to the universe. Now, the black in the diagram is nothing. It's not a vacuum. Vacuums are within that diagram, within that cone of expansion. Vacuums are empty space, and space is something. The black of the paper around the diagram is nothing. It doesn't fit in our human brain, because humans think in a box made of time, space, and matter/energy. No human, as clever as they might be, as expansive as they might be, thinks out of that box. So when we say outside that nothing, we can use the words, but we can't conceive of nothing. It doesn't fit in the human brain.
July 12, 1984. Cosmonauts Oleg Atkov, Leonid Kazim, and Vladimir Solovyov enter the 156th day of their 237-day stay aboard Russia's scientific research space station. All three crew members witness an extraordinary event.
In 1984, Soviet cosmonauts on board Salyut 7 saw a strange orange glow around the spacecraft, and they saw what they thought at first was maybe a gas leak. But it seemed that the whole station was surrounded by this orange cloud, and as they looked at it, the cloud coalesced into a shape.
Suddenly, they are all blinded by this orange light. When they regain their vision, they look out the portals of the spacecraft. They describe seeing 7 angelic beings that are traveling alongside their spacecraft, and did so for 10 minutes.
Officials dismissed the incident as a group hallucination, resulting from oxygen deprivation and pressure fluctuations. Later that summer, 3 more cosmonauts joined the Salyut 7 crew. All 6 of them, once again, saw these winged beings. But how could all of these cosmonauts share one hallucination? And might the winged figures seen by the Salyut 7 crew really have been extraterrestrials? Ancient astronaut theorists say yes, and suggest that similar sightings were secretly reported by many Russian cosmonauts. It is another example of
honest person. I'm sure you can tell me where God came from. And in addition, once you've told me where God comes from, please try to clarify how you can figure that a spiritual force can have an impact on a material universe to create it. I think that some years ago we already talked about that kind of thing in philosophical circles at any rate, by posing the question, if angels are made of spiritual matter and a pen is made of material matter and spiritual matter displaces no space, how many angels can dance on the tip of a pen? I have a sense of sort of reversal experience here, but please do, go ahead.
You got 5 minutes. Now, I just want to know which question.
That's all right. You may take the rest of the minute.
We're supposed to do one question at a time. Which one would you like? That was part of the format for the debate. So which question?
I want you to fill in the story of the rest of the beginning of the universe. God, spiritual matter, impact on material matter.
Okay, so 2 questions. All right.
Go ahead.
All right, your question, where did God come from, assumes that you're thinking of the wrong, obviously it displays that you're thinking of the wrong God, because the God of the Bible is not affected by time, space, or matter. If he's affected by time, space, or matter, he's not God. Time, space, and matter is what we call a continuum. All of them have to come into existence at the same instant, because if there were matter but no space, where would you put it? If there were matter and space but no time, when would you put it? You cannot have time, space, or matter independently. They have to come into existence simultaneously. The Bible answers that in 10 words. In the beginning, there's time. God created the heaven, there's space, and the earth, there's matter. So you have time, space, matter, created a trinity of trinities there. Just, time is past, present, future. Space has length, width, height. Matter has solid, liquid, gas. You have a trinity of trinities created instantaneously, and the God who created them has to be outside of them. If he's limited by time, he's not God. The guy who created this computer is not in the computer. He's not running around interchanging the numbers on the screen, okay? The God who created this universe is outside of the universe. He's above it, beyond it, in it, through it. He's unaffected by it. So the concept that a spiritual force cannot have any effect on a material body, well then I guess you'd have to explain to me things like emotions and love and hatred and envy and jealousy and rationality. I mean, if your brain is just a random collection of chemicals that form by chance over billions of years, how on earth can you trust your own reasoning processes and the thoughts that you think? Okay, so your question, where did God come from, is assume God. And that's your problem. The God that I worship is not limited by time, space, or matter. If I could fit the infinite God in my 3-pound brain, he would not be worth worshiping, that's for certain. So that's the God that I worship. Thank you.